Hello everyone, welcome back to the Back Post. Hope you're all doing well. Today, of course, we're talking about England. We're going to be reviewing the big game against Wales coming up. Yeah, before obviously have to get into that Wales preview, we have to talk about the US game. Unfortunately, yeah, boring game, wasn't it? Like just so stale, so anticlimactic. I think a lot of people went out for this. I went out for this. I thought, it's the Friday game. It's the only Friday group game. It's against US, some a team we haven't beaten in the World Cup, a big kind of rival almost. Everyone was up for this game. It was supposed to be a big one, and it just kind of fell flat, and it was so frustrating. I think the reason why we lost this game, we didn't even lose it. We didn't even lose it. That's how it feels. It feels like we've bloody lost it. It probably feels like a win for them. But the reason why we drew this game, I think, is because we gave them too much respect. We gave them way too much respect. I think, we knew their game plan. Of course, their game plan was to sit deep and counter attack. We could see that coming. I feel like a lot of teams will play that against England anyway. But with US, they've got those attacking, quite scary on the counter attack players like Pulisic and McKennie and those kind of players. Who are sharp, dynamic, and when running at a defence can really, really hurt a defence. So I think we were really worried about that, and we gave them too much respect. We should have just went at them. Realistically, we should have just went at them. I think, not to be disrespectful or anything, but their goalkeeper plays third choice to our second choice goalkeeper. I think that makes sense. Basically, he plays like third or second choice for Arsenal, whereas our second goalkeeper is first choice for Arsenal. Does that make sense? Basically, what I'm saying is we should have went at him. We should have went at him with pace. We should have went at him with some aggressiveness, and it was annoying. And like I said, it was very what's the word? It's just frustrating overall. Frustrating is the word. And I think, Southgate got it wrong in moments. I think when he brought Henderson on, the whole pub went, no, no. And to be fair to Henderson, he actually wasn't that bad. He controlled the midfield. He actually added a little bit of sharpness to the midfield, so I can't actually fault him for that. But I think everyone has said it already, but Foden was crying out for Foden. Now, see, I'm conflicted here because I know Foden's fucking brilliant. He's such a star talent. But this happened at the Euros where every single person was like, bring on Grealish, why isn't Grealish starting? Blah, 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 blah. He's our fucking Gazza, he's going to fix everything. And realistically, like, that's not going to happen. Personally, I think Foden doesn't win us that game. I don't think that happens because it was the way the whole team were playing. Foden doesn't come on and just doesn't listen to the tactics and just goes. Like, he plays within the system that Southgate set out. So I don't think that and like people like Rory Jennings online saying Southgate needs to go mid-tournament. Check your head, mate. Come on, Rory. I actually like Rory. I think sometimes he makes good points, but sometimes he absolutely misses it. And I think that's an absolute miss. Come on, mate. Have some respect for him. Like, there's no need for that, like, that kind of negative attitude mid-tournament as well. We just beat Iran 6-2. We just had one of the best World Cup games we've ever had, followed by a boring game, but a draw, a point nonetheless, which brings us to 4 points, which is top of the group, which is doing pretty well. So to say sack him is just ridiculous. And to any fans out there that are saying that, you need to check your heads. Honestly, it's ridiculous. But that being said, I think Foden should start next game, but I'll get onto that in a little bit. I think overall people need to calm down. We're top of the group. We're sitting pretty at the top of the group. We have to avoid a 4-0 loss to Wales to actually get knocked out of this group. I think all is fine and dandy. Also, if you look around at the minute, like, no team other than France really are storming it at the moment. You've got France who have got 6 points, but literally everyone else. I think you look at Belgium, who struggled, who had a shock result. Netherlands, drawing to Ecuador, struggling. Germany, bottom their group. Spain, who beat Costa Rica 7-0, also couldn't beat Germany when they drew. Argentina, struggling, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many teams that are struggling. Not many teams already have more than 4 points. Like, obviously, some teams haven't played by the time of filming this, but I think people need to calm down and give Southgate and England a bit of credit here because we're actually not doing too bad. And but let's get on to the Wales game. Now, we know what Wales are gonna do. They have had a terrible tournament so far, and they are not getting out of this group. I think it's going to take an absolute miracle for them to get out of this group. They have to win this game, and they have to rely on the other game being a draw, I believe. So I don't know how they're going to come into this. I think they're going to come into this thinking, let's just go out, you know, on our sword. Let's get a win against England, you know, local kind of rivalry there. Let's just, you know, give the fans something. That's going to be their mindset, in my opinion. I can see that happening. So that we have to be worried about that. But that being said, I don't think they're just going to come and attack because they haven't got the facilities for that, big man. They have, you know, they're going to sit deep again. I think they're going to put 5 defenders on it, wing back system, and then just try and get at us when they can. And we have to be worried about that. We have to keep that in mind. But I think we have to take the lessons of the US as well and attack and be more progressive and be more attacking and don't worry as much about the counter attack because I don't want to eat my words, but I'm not as scared as like their attack, like Kiefer Moore and Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey running at us. You know what I mean? Like that's not the scariest thing. I feel like our defenders can deal with that. And I hope I'm not fucking eating my words there. But look, I'm going to run through my lineup as well, just to kind of like tell you what I'm thinking about, who should come in, what should we do, what kind of system should we play, and that sort of thing. So I'm actually going to go with the same formation that we've gone for so far. It's worked. Gareth seems to like it. This seems to be his new thing. And it's difficult because I think when you're coming up against the more difficult opposition, will he change it? I kind of hope not. I quite like the system. So it's like a 4-1-2-3 sort of thing. Of course, Pickford in goal. You don't need to talk about that. I'm not going to change the back four. I think Trippier, Stones, Maguire and Shaw have been class. I think Maguire, what a beast he's been recently. Like, I think I've really loved how he's just stepped up. Every corner that came in against US, he was fucking nutting away. And I think every time that happened in the pub, everyone was celebrating. Like, it's just funny. But he's stepped up, man. He's been the Maguire that's worth 80 million. He's the Maguire that wears the England shirt and is a completely different player. So I'm happy with him. Stones, of course, one of our best. Shaw's done really well. I think progressively as well, he's offered a fair bit overlapping on that left. And Trippier, what a unit, what a solid defender he's been, an absolute pro, and deserves that right back position. And you know, we're obviously worried about what happened with right back. I think Trippier just deserves that for now. Midfield, I'm sticking with Rice, of course. I think it works perfectly when Trippier and Shaw go up, that Rice sits deep. He doesn't need to go too far forward. I think we've got a very balanced midfield at the minute now. Rice plays his part beautifully. He's a leader. He's also so defensively strong and he's also progressive. He can bring the ball. He can take the ball. He's always wanted to take the ball. And then him mixed with Bellingham, who's my other midfielder, who I just think, you know, has been golden. I think obviously against US struggled a little bit, but I feel like a lot of players struggled that game. He's just brilliant. I love the partnership of Rice and Bellingham, the way they've worked together, the way that one sits deep, the way Bellingham goes box to box. I think it works so well. It's so balanced, and that leaves room for another midfielder. Now, Mount's been playing there the last 2 games. Mount played really well against Iran, I think. Very energetic, very lively. Probably should have got a goal, and I think that's his biggest weakness. I think we all know that. Mount's biggest weakness is that he needs to convert more. I'm sure he'd say that himself. But against against US, wasn't great, was he? And I do think he should have been subbed off for Foden. Obviously, like I said in the first one, I don't think Foden would have changed the game too much, but Foden offers just a beautiful level of talent, a bit of tenacity and a little bit of directness, whereas I think Mount was, you know, worried a little bit. So for me, I'm bringing Foden in for this game. I think he deserves his start. I think you know, this is how football is. I think if one player goes off the ball a little bit, you bring the other one in, and then the other one has to work their way back into the squad. And this is the beauty of England. We have a player like Foden on the bench who can come in, and then that also likes to fire up Mason Mount's arse to then want to come back into the side and prove why he shouldn't have lost his spot. I think that works, in my opinion. I think that's how, you know, how football should work. I think Foden will come in and bring something quite nice to this team as well in that midfield. Gareth doesn't want to play him in the midfield because apparently he doesn't play there for City. But Mason Mount rarely plays there for Chelsea, especially in the last couple of years. He's been playing as much more as a forward, similar to Foden. So I think that's a bit of nonsense, Gareth. But I'd pick Foden in that midfield. And look, if it's not working, you have Mason to bring back on. You've got Henderson to come in as well. So, you know, it's worth a shot against Wales for sure. And then the front line, I'm going to keep Saka and Kane. I think Saka's a bright spark, playing for Arsenal, playing so well, brought that to this tournament. Really fun, energetic player. Great goal, 2 goals against Iran. See if he can reignite his spark once again. Kane, of course, has to start captain. Great player overall. Dropped a lot deeper this tournament, a lot more deeper than we normally used to him. But it kind of works with Saka overlapping. I think it does work, and I like it. I think my only worry is that I think he needs to do more of both. I think he's doing a lot more of sitting deep than attacking, and I think we need Kane. We need you to score some goals, make you a goal scorer as well as a playmaker, and I think sometimes he forgets that. So I would like for him to get forward a little bit more. And then my final pick on that left wing, I'm taking Sterling out and I'm putting Grealish in. I think Grealish has come on both games and been quite fun and effective both games. I know he's great as a bit of a super sub, and I think Gareth likes him in that like super sub role. But I think he deserves a start. Again, it's against Wales, so it's a lesser opposition. It might be worth trying him out for now, see what he can do with his starting half or 50 minutes. And again, if it doesn't work, you've got Sterling to bring on. You can put maybe even Foden on that left wing. My only worry with Grealish and Kane working together is the fact that Kane sits deep, Grealish doesn't. I don't think he's an overlapping kind of player. He's a player to drag and go. So hopefully in those positions, Kane goes up top where Grealish gets it into him. That's where I see that dynamic working. But obviously, if it doesn't work again, we have the beautiful position of where we can bring on play. Wales don't have this. Wales don't have a bench to look to. We have 5 players we can bring on to change this game, and we need to utilise that. And I think Gareth is probably his biggest weakness is that. So I hope he kind of looks inside a little bit and does that for this. So yeah, that's my lineup. I think my final point would be as well, like Wilson just against Iran, brought on a different level of striker, a different kind of way of attacking. And if it really isn't working, if it's really stale and Wales are sitting really deep, it's frustrating. I think you've got to bring a player like Wilson on who will disrupt and will change. And I think England over the years have always been scared to bring Harry Kane off. And I understand why, because Tunisia, he can get that last minute goal. But I think sometimes it's good to just change the way we attack and get someone like Wilson on. We've brought him for a reason. So that'd be my final point on the squad. So that's England versus Wales. That's my preview. That's my lineup. What do you think to it? Let me know. I think it's a big game. I think we need to come out with a win, don't we? I think we need to go in and get a comfortable win, like a 2-3-0 win, just to really get that confidence back up, because we were up here with Iran. Let's face it, Iran kind of maybe blinded us a little bit with too much joy, brought us back down with US. Time to come back into the middle there with Wales. I think go into the next round with a bit of confidence, with a nice win behind us. I think it's needed, to be honest, just confidence-wise, because say if we lose or if we draw and we come second in the group, the media, the whole circus around it, it's not looking great. This needs to be a really confident and fun and just impressive win. And I hope that it is that. And then, of course, I'm going to talk quickly just about the next stage of round of 16. If we do get past this game, if we do go through, I think if we come second, we're probably coming against Netherlands. And if we come first, it's either going to be Ecuador or Senegal. I think leaning towards Ecuador at the moment with the way they're playing. And it's difficult. Both these teams won't be easy. Netherlands are playing fun football at the moment. I think they're having fun with it. But Ecuador did cause them a lot of problems. And then Ecuador, my God, I don't want to play them, to be honest. Coming top of the group, but then getting Ecuador, it might be a tricky one. They're going to make that game so difficult. They're going to make it rugged. They're going to make it just horrible. And then that Valencia is going to probably pop up and get a few opportunities, and you can't give him too many. And, oh, God, that won't be too fun. So either way, this draw doesn't get easier for England. I think this World Cup, compared to the last Euros and last World Cup, won't be an easy route to the final. But listen, you've got to beat good teams to be the best. I think England can be the best. So let's have it. Right, that's going to be it for me. Now, I appreciate you watching, listening this far into the video. Thank you for being here. This is our England-Wales preview. Subscribe if this is the kind of thing that you like. We're going to bring you loads of videos throughout this tournament. It's exciting. It's the World Cup. Make sure you like and subscribe for all more content. And I will see you later.